Maeno Sensei to welcome guest members.
Yes, everybody, welcome to come to this meeting. This meeting, we speak English. My English is broken, but don't mind. If we translate Satish's voice into Japanese, you can't hear Satish's voice. I want you to listen to his voice, his love and his passion for people and the earth. I want you to listen to his talk, and Tsuji Sensei and Ai-san join us. So to listen to our English. And if you can't understand English, we will upload this meeting on YouTube later. So you can listen to this again and again, and you can understand his passion and love for the world. So before introducing Mr. Satish Kumar, let me introduce two people who are very good friends with Satish. First person is Tsuji Sensei, Keibo Tsuji. Could you introduce yourself? Keibo Sensei.
Hello, everyone. Here I am, Tsuji Shinichi, or Keibo Ohiwa. I'm honored to be here, and I'm so happy to be here with Satish.
You have been a friend with Satish for a long time, right?
Well, more than 20 years.
Wow, 20 years. Great. Okay.
And Keibo-san has translated my book, the latest book, in Japanese.
Yes.
Oh, great.
And also we have published some books by him and about him before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to your CD book, right? So Tsuji-san made a
Yes,
CD.
we also filmed.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great. And the second person is Sanda Ai-chan. She's also a friend with Satish, right? You went to Shumaha College last spring.
Yes, 2 months ago.
Okay, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone, and I'm really happy to meet Satish again. My name is Ai, just call me Ai. I'm founder of the Kokri project, and also I'm the researcher of the Recruit. And Kokri is come from the word co-creation. Yeah, I just been to the Shumaha College the July, and I got a so big love from the Satish and the Shumaha College. So I'm really happy to share that some experience and my passion to everyone.
Good. You have a film that you want to show us, right?
Yes. So first I want to show the short film, and also before that I want to share what is the Kokri project is, and that short film is also the Kokri project film. So I want to share that short film.
Yes, please. What I is doing is very close to what Satish is doing. So please see what she's doing.
Thank you. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Yeah. My project called Kokri, and Kokri is a word from co-creation. And I think co-creation is very different from the collaboration. Collaboration is working together, agreed goal with combining the existing resources. So that is a planning approach. But the co-creation is a very generative approach. Collectively create through the experimentation while there's no answer. So we don't know the answer, we don't know the goal, so that we are connected with deep root and the generative approach. And after that, new unexpected future emerge. That is a co-creation, I believe. And the co-creation approach is not the problem solving, but the transformation approach. So that is similar, I think, with the Shumaha College. Not only using our thought, our brain, but also we use our body and our 5 senses, and connecting with ourselves, our peers, and with system and the earth at the root. And we can design a place where expected creativity emerge and an ecosystem where transformation continue and keep evolving. And this is very essential thing, connect with my root. We are usually using our head, but not head, and not heart, but we use a hara and root, like the tanden and the source, so the connected with very root. So after that, very purified energy occurred. And after connecting with others through root, not the brain, but the very underlying root. So very purified energy harmonize happen. And what the Earth co-creation is, the co-creation research theme became the wider, not only the human being, but also the whole ecosystem co-creation is the Earth co-creation. So my question, what I'm exploring is how human being can co-create with the other species, like a plant, animal, nature, and the earth. And I want to shift the not human-centered society to the earth-centered society. So not the human consume and exploit other living system, but the harmonize and with co-create. And not the divided, but the remember or reconnected. And so I and we made the short animation film, remember, and it is selected and awarded at the film festival around the world. So I want to show it to everyone. Just 1 minute. Okay, so shall I start?
Okay, thank you, Ai-chan.
Thank you.
Thank you for your introduction and great video. I'm so emphasized. Okay, so let me introduce three people, and you will talk together about maybe about 45 minutes. And after that, audience, everybody can ask questions to Satish and other people. Before that, I want to talk about today's topic. Today's topic is obvious. As you shall see in the video, how humans can create a better world. What can we do? What can we start? What should we do? Everybody. We have more than 100 people. If one person, every person do something, then we can make a better world. But if we don't do that, it's difficult. I believe that Schumacher College, where Satish started, is a very great place. I want to start a school. You want to do something. How and what can we do for the beginning? That's what I'm interested. So Tsuji sensei and Ai-chan and Satish, could you start your discussion? Okay.
Okay, thank you. It is my great pleasure to be in this discussion with you. You are in Japan, all of you, and I am in the UK. And as you said, Schumacher College is a place where we can start something and everyone can do something. Like if you have one candle and you want to light another candle, that candle will light the another candle. That another candle can light the another candle. Another light can light the another candle. So from candle to candle to candle, you can light hundreds of candles. In the same way, if all of us influence one person and that influence another person and that influence other person, then the transformation and change can happen all over the world. So we have to start with ourselves. Be the candle, be the radiator, and spread the light from yourself. If we always think that somebody else should do it, you should do it, government should do it, business should do it, somebody else should do it, then it can never happen. We have to say, I will do it. Whatever I can, I will change my way of thinking. I'll change my way of reading. I will change what I watch. I will change how I eat. I will change how I shop. I will change how much work I do. I will be mindful of every step I take. So this way, we can start to make a better world. Better world will not start by somebody else. It will start by ourselves. And once you start ourselves, then you communicate your ideas to other people through your action, through your poetry, through this beautiful animated film. It's a wonderful film, and this is a way of communicating. By organizing this event where hundreds of people are coming, we are communicating. By writing my book, I'm communicating. So first we have to be the change ourselves, be the light, be the radiator, and then spread that light and spread that radiation to others. Communicate the change. And then, like in this film we saw, co-creation. Work together with other people. No one person can change the world. A great river is made of small, many tributaries. Little tributaries make the big river. In the same way, if we co-create together and work together, join with each other, then we can make a big movement of transformation and change. And so be the change, communicate the change, and join other people in co-creation of change. And join other people. So this way we can make a big movement. So this is a very good film you have made, Ai-san. I congratulate you. And I hope that all of us can take some personal responsibility to bring about change. perhaps Keibo-san, you would like to ask some questions.
Thank you, Satish. And thank you, Ai-san, for the wonderful film.
Thank you.
Okay, Satish. Actually, today I went to the World Climate Action organized by Fridays for Future.
Yes.
This is a sort of worldwide action day, and I was there. And as an activist, I have been going to rallies and demonstrations of all kinds for a long time. But today I found myself being one of the oldest people there, which is a great feeling. You know, a lot of young people were there. And also, to my surprise, right, one 15-year-old woman, gave a wonderful speech. And I realized that this is a daughter of my former student.
Wonderful.
So it was really, you know, something is happening in Japan. So Satish, you know, a problem is always, you know, being an activist, especially in Japan. If you ask, you know, 100 people, if, you know, or who is activist, who would call himself or herself activist, right? Very few. I always do this, right? So I know this for the fact. So this barrier, how do we sort of go beyond it? Because I mean, you started out when you were quite young as a walker, pilgrim, right? And to, you know, in order to bring peace to the world. And today, we are really severely challenged, you know, in terms of peace and war and peace. So first, why don't you tell us again, you know, how you started to be an activist, right? And also, if you have some advice to the people,
yes.
who can be activists?
Yes, very good question, Keibo-san. First of all, I would like to say that these young people who are marching under the banner of Fridays for the Future around the world, they are everywhere, in Europe, in America, in India, in Japan, even in China. There are lots of people doing that. And they give me hope. They are leaders of tomorrow. And therefore, we have a hope that if young people can start to build a new future, then I think we can create a new world. So how I started, I was not as young as the 15-year-old leader that you met today.
Mm-hmm.
I was slightly older. I was 26 years old. And I saw, or I read, that one old man, 90 years old, philosopher from England called Bertrand Russell, he was protesting against the nuclear bombs. So to be an activist, you can be an old and you can be young. You can be 15-year-old, or you can be 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, even 90 years old. So Bertrand Russell in England, he was a Nobel Prize winning philosopher and a mathematician. And he was protesting against war, against arms race. So I heard and read about it. So I said, if a man of 90 can go to jail for peace in the world. What am I doing? Young man sitting here in India, drinking coffee. So that was the inspiration from an old man to a young man. So on that inspiration, I decided to walk with a friend from New Delhi to 4 nuclear capitals of the world: Moscow, Paris, London, and Washington. And I said that I will go without any money because wars begin in fear. Peace begins in trust. And so I will trust the universe. I will trust the strangers. I will trust anyone whom I don't know. They will give me food. They will give me shelter. And so for 2.5 years, I walked 13,000 kilometers through 15 countries. I went through from India through Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, Russia to Moscow, then to Belarus, Poland, Germany, Belgium, France, England. Then I took a boat from England to America. And people in England gave me the tickets. I had no money. And then I walked from New York to Washington. And I had a great honor and privilege of meeting great leader of that time, great activist, Martin Luther King. That was a great honor and great privilege. And after meeting him, I had invitation from Japan that I should go and walk in Japan for peace, because Japan was the first country to be the victim of a nuclear bomb, a hydrogen bomb. And so I came to Tokyo, and with some Buddhist monks, Nichiren monks, I walked from Tokyo to Hiroshima, 45 days. And that was a wonderful experience of Japanese culture and Japanese food and Japanese art and Japanese craft and Japanese landscape. I was so impressed and inspired by Japanese people and their Zen teachings. And I was in Kyoto, and a Zen master served me tea in a tea ceremony. And he said, every cup of tea is a cup of peace. When you drink tea together, you cannot fight. You cannot have war. So drink tea together and you will have peace. So every cup of tea is a cup of peace, a cup of love, and a cup of compassion. So that was my experience in Japan. And so after Japan, I came back to India. So that was my 2.5 years of activism. And that activism has remained with me all my life.
You mentioned about the fear and the trust.
Yeah.
Can you sort of collaborate on, elaborate on that?
Yes.
You know, fear, you said money, when you mentioned money, right?
Yeah.
That is based on fear.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Could you explain that?
Yeah, the thing is that we have become dependent on money, and we think that if I have no money, I cannot survive. I cannot have food. I cannot have clothes. I cannot travel. I cannot do anything unless I have money. So you become dependent, you become insecure, and you don't trust anyone else. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust other people. You trust money. And that is based on fear. So I would say money should be only a means to an end. Money is only a means to exchange. Money should not be the master. Money should not be the boss. We should not live to earn money. We should live to make things, beautiful things, grow food, build a beautiful house, make beautiful pots. Like you had a wonderful potter called Hamada in Japan. He made a beautiful pot. So there are many, many beautiful pottery in Japan. So when you make something, you are a maker. When you have money, money makes you a consumer. So human beings are reduced to being a consumer rather than a maker, rather than an artist, rather than a craftswoman or craftsman, rather than a gardener, rather than a farmer, rather than a writer or poet or a dancer or musician or a painter. We become just a consumer. So that is the result of fear. When fear rules, we become consumers and we become dependent on money. But when you have a trust in your heart, you trust yourself and you know that I have skills. I have 2 hands. I can make beautiful pottery. I can make beautiful ikebana. I can make a beautiful tea ceremony. I can beautiful house. I can build. I can transform a piece of clay into a beautiful pot. I can transform a piece of wood into a beautiful furniture. That trust in yourself and your own imagination, your own creativity, and your own ability and capacity to make something, that is the trust in yourself. And as you trust yourself, you trust others. And you have a mutuality, like co-creation, mutuality. All our thriving is mutual. We cannot survive by ourselves. We have to trust others. We have to trust our parents. We have to trust our friends. We have to trust our colleagues. We have to trust other people. So when you trust other people, then there will be no war. There will be no conflict. And so I would say at this moment in the world, fear is the ruling sentiment. And that is where we need to replace this sentiment of fear with the sentiment of trust. Then I think we can address the problems of climate change. I mean, you showed in your film machines. We don't trust our own hands and our own ability to make something. Therefore, we trust machines and we believe in machines. And machines are run on fossil fuel. All our industry, all our commerce, all our agriculture, all our domestic activities, they have all become dependent on fossil fuel. And that fossil fuel is creating greenhouse gases, climate change, global warming, pollution, waste, all those things are happening. So fear is the root cause of all our world problems, I would say. And so if you want to solve at a deep level, not only the symptoms of the problem, but the root causes of the problem, then you have to address the problem of fear and cultivate trust in yourself, cultivate trust in other people, cultivate trust in the universe, and cultivate trust in the future, and work every moment of your life with trust in your heart, and use your capacity, imagination, creativity, art, craft, music, hands. You talked about head, heart, hara, and hands. Hara is a very beautiful word in your Japanese. So I think there are 4H: head, heart,
4H.
hara, and hands. 4H. And if you trust your head, you trust your heart, you trust your hara, and you trust your hands, then you have a trust and no fear. You can do what you like in the world. You don't have to fear anybody because your love, trust begets love. Trust generates peace. And trust generates love and peace. And when you have a love and peace in your heart, there'll be no Ukraine war, there'll be no Korean war, there'll be no threat for Taiwan, there is no threat for North Korea, all those things that you fear. And therefore you build weapons and you build war machinery. Even China is building so much war machinery. Japan is building. All that is due to fear. You have to get rid of fear, and you are not trying to control anybody, but you are trying to work everybody. Then you can be in peace, you can be in harmony, you can be ecology, you can be a good life everywhere. Trust the trust.
Well, Satish, Ai-san, would you like to say something? Because Satish has been mentioning your film, quite quite often.
Mm-hmm. And the four H.
Yeah,
Four H's. Nice,
yeah.
huh? 4 H's.
Yeah,
Japanese version.
Yeah,
We've
Japanese
got the
version.
one more H.
Yeah. And hara is very important H, because hara is the gut feeling. Hara is in a way, kind of heart and hands all come from hara. Because if hara is not fulfilled, hara is the source of nutrition. Hara is the source of nourishment. Hara, what you eat, you become. And so your hands will not be active if your hara is not good. Your head will not be able to think if your hara is not good. And your heart will not feel good if your hara is not good. So hara, the Japanese hara, is the most fundamental for our peace in the world.
Ai-san, would you like to say something? Or
Yeah. Yeah, I really the feel, oh yes, the from the Satish saying. And I also think that how we human being can release fear. Satish, what do you think? How we human being release the fear?
Yeah.
And why?
Satish, you said get rid of it,
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it's not as simple as that.
It is not simple, but it can come through practice. Every day you focus on yourself and say, today I'm going to drop fear. Today I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust my friends. I'm going to trust everybody. I'm going to trust the world. Whatever happens, I will address with trust. So by practice, every day, like you have a seed in your garden, you plant the seed. So you plant the seed of your trust in your heart, and then you water every day, and you give a nice compost every day. Then that seed will become a plant, and the plant will become a tree. In the same way, if you have in your heart belief that I'm going to trust and I'm going to drop fear, and why do I fear? What I need, I have everything. I have intelligence, I have heart, compassion, I have love, I have skills, I can learn the skills. I have everything I need. 2 hands and heart and hara and head. These are the source of everything. If you don't trust yourself, then you are not going to be happy. So in order to be happy, you have to trust yourself and cultivate your skill and water the seed of trust every day. And then it become a tree. And so it is not easy. It's not simple, but it's not impossible either. You can do it. Human beings are capable of doing it. Just if we say that, oh, it's not simple, I can't do it, then you can't do it. But the moment you say, I can do it, tomorrow I'm going to start trusting myself. Tomorrow and today, I'm going to start trusting other people. And even if I fear, if I get let down, even if I place and face difficulties, even if somebody cheats me, even somebody hurts me, even somebody upsets me, I will wish them happiness. I'll wish them wisdom. I'm not going to fear that. I'm prepared to take some risk of being cheated, being hurt, being upset. I'm prepared to take the risk of negative experience, and yet I will trust. So you have to be courageous. Trust is not somebody who can do without courage. It's not for the faint heart. It needs courage. It needs energy. So you have to say, I'm going to trust. Whatever happens, even if something is going wrong, I will trust.
Can I ask you, Satish? And this question is for the young people, at least, some of the young people. You said trust, right? but they feel that so many times they have been betrayed by the adults, older people, older generations, politicians, economists, business people, teachers even. And also, you say, do not fear, but I see a lot of fear, even among the activists, and anger. What would you say?
But you know, Keibo-san,
yes,
the young activists have to learn from the old activists. And if you take old activists, like I said, Martin Luther King, he was a great activist. In his 10 years of active life, from 25 to 35, before he was killed, he went to jail 29 times. He was so strong activist. And yet when I met him, there was no anger. There was no fear. He was an embodiment of love and compassion. Even compassion for the white community which exploit and create a racial discrimination, racism. Even for them, he had love. He said, I want justice today, but I will receive that justice through love, not through hatred, not through fear, not through anxiety. So I would like to say to young people like you went to meet today and your 15-year-old daughter of your student, I would like to say act without fear, act without anger, act out of love. If you act out of fear and anger, you will have burnout. Within a few years, you will feel disappointed. You will feel disheartened. You will stop acting. Action for transformation is a lifelong commitment. When I became activist at age 20 or 25, I became activist for the whole life, not just for a few years that I get changed and nuclear weapons will be removed. Even though the nuclear weapons are not removed still, but still I will act. So being an activist is not dependent on the results. Being an activist is dependent on your own commitment, your own dedication, and your own work. So Mahatma Gandhi, he did not act against imperialism out of fear or out of anger or out of anxiety. He acted against imperialism, colonialism, industrialism, materialism, but with love. Even for English people, British people, imperial people, he had love. So I think our young generation of activists, and there are many who have love in their heart. I also know many young activists in England who go for Fridays for the Future and Extinction Rebellion. They are acting out of love, but not everybody is full of fear. But those who are full of fear, I advise them that drop your fear. Fear is not going to change anything. Only your action with love will change everything. We have to protest with love. We have to protect our wisdom and indigenous cultures and arts and crafts and values and beauty and nature with love. Not out of anger, but with love. And we have to build new organizations, new schools, new farms, new gardens, new ways of doing things, new whole food restaurants, new good bookshops, new schools like Schumacher College. Do it all with love. This is my message to young people, that if you do out of anger, fear, and anxiety, you will have a soon burnout. And results are not going to come tomorrow. They will take long time. So a long-term view, and for your own happiness, for your own joy, act and act and act, but act only out of trust and love and not out of fear, anger, or anxiety. This is my strong message to young people.
One problem that people have, kind of a feeling of a dilemma, is that they feel that they are confronted by a question whether I should go for justice, or peace, activism, or I should go for more joyful life. fun life.
I don't think you can separate activism and joyful life.
How can we combine?
Yeah, how can you? I am living joyfully. I act joyfully. I start Schumacher College joyfully. I walked day after day for 2.5 years through deserts, through mountains, 10,000, 12,000 feet high mountains. I had to climb Hindu Kush mountains to go through Afghanistan. I had to go through desert. I had to go through snow. I was sometimes hungry. I had a blister, and yet I was joyful. So joy is a state of mind. You cannot separate activism and joyfulness. Some people go for activism and some people want to have a joyful life. That separation is artificial. We have to be active. I'm speaking to you now. I'm speaking out of love and I'm enjoying it. This is joyful. I don't have to be an activist and miserable. We don't want miserable activists. We want happy activists. And happy activists have to act out of joy and love. Otherwise, they are not going to last activists. They will burn out and they will give up soon because they are exhausted, they are tired, they are burned out, they can't carry on, and they will give up. So if you want to have a long-term activism, you have to combine joy and activism together. So be a happy activist, not a miserable activist.
I'm an activist, and don't I look happy?
You do. You do. You are a very happy activist. See, why I've been working with you for 20 years, and we have enjoyed our work together.
That's great. Thank you. I always say, Satish, you often quote this phrase, artist is not a special kind of a person, but everyone is a special kind of artist.
Yes.
But I think that we can say the same thing about activists.
You
activist
can.
Is not a special kind of person.
Activists come in many forms. Activist doesn't mean only going to demonstrations or going to prison or protesting. Also those who are constructive activists, those who are building new ways of living, new ways of farming, permaculture, agroecology, natural farming, arts, crafts, they are activists.
Yes.
They are no less. So if you are doing something good which does not harm the earth, which does not harm humanity, does not harm yourself, then you are an activist in a positive and constructive way. So protesting is one way of being activist. Protecting what is good in our society, good in our culture. Like in Japan, you have beautiful arts and crafts and gardens and landscape and nature and beauty. Protect it. Those who conserve and protect are also activists, but also those who are building new institutions, new ideas, new business, which is sustainable, regenerative, and ecologically sound. Those businesses are good building. All these different ways of being an activist. If you are a musician and you sing these songs for peace and for ecology and for the earth and for nature, like John Lennon, Bob Dylan in America, I'm sure you have in Japan, the singers singing are activists. Picasso, who painted Guernica picture, he was an activist. He protested against the war and he painted a great painting of Guernica. So you can be a musician, you can be a painter, you can be a writer, you can be a farmer, you can be a gardener, you can be a great cook, you can be a Zen monk, you can be whatever you like, as long as you are doing something for the others, co-creation, together, mutuality, and not just for yourself, but for humanity and for the earth, then you can be an activist in many, many forms. So yes. Activism does not come in one form. It comes in many forms. So don't be disappointed. As you said, like an artist is not a special kind of person, but every person is a special kind of artist. It's an art of living, art of speaking, art of walking, art of gardening, art of cooking. So in that art, if you do it in a mutual way and for the benefit of larger community, then you become a special kind of artist.
And everyone,
kind of activist.
And I would add, everyone is a special kind of activist.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
I
to start with, I mean, you know, like attending this meeting tonight,
yeah.
you know, Friday night. I mean, that's a great activism already.
Yes, exactly.
So everyone here is an activist.
Exactly. So activism comes in many forms, and everyone is a special kind of activist.
Thank you. Ai-san, do you have a question or something, comment, or? If not, I'd like to ask Satish to talk about the two books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, one is the book that I had the honor to translate, Elegant Simplicity.
Yeah.
And also, you have another book coming soon, right, in England. So would you tell us first, you know, about Elegant Simplicity?
Right.
Yes.
Excuse me,
Yes.
gentlemen, before you you're going to talk about two books, I would like to invite everyone, if you are prepared for the question, because we're going to have the question and answer time soon. So please be prepared. And if you have a question or any comments, please use the chat box too, or would like to ask you know, some of you to ask a question directly to Satish as well. Thank you. So please go ahead.
So first of all, thank you, Keibo-san, for translating my Elegant Simplicity into Japanese. And
My
I hope
pleasure,
that,
my pleasure.
yes, and I hope that the people who are attending this evening's session will consider buying a copy so that my ideas can be spread in Japan widely and properly. Elegant simplicity is the answer to social injustice, first of all, because some people have too much and others have too little. So I say that live simply so that others may simply live.
Mm-hmm.
Why we have so much poverty, so much deprivation in the world? Because some people have accumulated too much resources, too much money, too many houses, too many cars, too many computers, too many everything, too much of everything. So I would say, by simplifying your life, by reducing the clutter in your house, you will be contributing to the social justice so that others may enjoy a little bit of good life. So for social justice, elegant simplicity is an essential and a fundamental principle. Also for ecological reason, we need to live elegant simplicity, because whatever you are using, all the things, all the stuff you are using, cars, computers, clothes, houses, roads, airports, aeroplanes, everything you are using, they are coming from somewhere. And they are finite resources. We cannot have infinite economic growth on finite resources. So consumerism, materialism, industrialism, all these things are causing climate change, global warming, because we are making too much stuff. Production is too much. And therefore, if we reduce our consumption and simplify our life and live elegant and good life, then it will be a better impact on nature, and nature will not be destroyed so much. So for ecological sustainability and for regenerative culture, we need elegant simplicity. But also for our own happiness, the third reason, for our own happiness and joy, less burden, less clutter, less stuff in our house will release more time. You don't have to need so much money. You shop, you need a lot of money. You don't have a lot of money, you have to work. 8 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, 5 days a week. If you need less money, less stuff, you have more time for yourself to enjoy your life, to walk in the forest or walk in nature, enjoy music, enjoy poetry, enjoy painting, enjoy some craft, enjoy your family, look after your children, meet some friends, have some nice walk outside or meals outside with your friends. So for your own happiness, a simple life, elegant life is very important. So for social justice, for ecological sustainability, and for personal joy and happiness, you need elegant, simple, beautiful, good life. Elegant simplicity does not mean poverty, does not mean deprivation, does not mean that you have to not live a good life. Live good life, but whatever you have in your house, make sure that everything you have is well made, hopefully handmade, and beautiful. Beauty is the food of the soul. For elegant simplicity, beauty is essential. Beauty is essential of life, necessary for life. So beautiful, and then beauty is not enough. Beautiful things should also be useful. So your clothes should be beautiful, your shoes should be beautiful, your pots and pans should be beautiful, your furniture should be beautiful. So whatever is beautiful, also useful. And then whatever is beautiful and useful should also be durable, should last for a long time. At the moment we buy something in one fashion season and throw away next season. And that goes on the landfill, or that goes in the sea, and that goes and creates pollution and the waste. So it should be durable. A thing should be made to last long time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, even lifetime, so that my children can inherit my clothes. My children can inherit my furniture. So if you make something beautiful, useful, and durable, then that is the principle of elegant simplicity. So I call it the bud principle of elegant simplicity. Be beautiful, you useful, D durable, B-U-D, bud principle.
Bud.
So that's elegant simplicity. So elegant simplicity for social justice, for ecological sustainability, for personal happiness, and for beauty, for usefulness, and for durability. These are the basic ideas of elegant simplicity. And more detail you can read in the book.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hear that your new book is coming, and
Yes.
it's already written and
Yes.
also already prepared to be published in January or
February
in English. Yeah.
The book is called Radical Love, and it will be published by Parallax Press in California. Parallax Press was established by a great Zen master, Buddhist master called Thich Nhat Hanh, Vietnamese Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh. He started a publishing house called Parallax Press. So they are publishing it, Radical Love. And it will be out on the 14th of February. I don't know if you have in Japan,
Yes,
but in
yes.
Europe and America, we have Saint Valentine's Day.
Saint Valentine's Day.
Saint Valentine's Day. So Saint Valentine was the saint of love. So we are going to publish the book on the 14th of February on Saint Valentine's Day. And then I'm going to run a workshop, a weekend from 17th, 18th, and 19th of February at Schumacher College on Radical Love. So any of you would like to come to England and come to Schumacher College for the weekend, and then following that weekend, I will do a week-long course. So you can come for 10 days, weekend and a week as well, following that from 19th, 20th, 21, 22, 23, 24 February. And so Radical Love, I've talked already about it. For me, the love is the organizing principle of life. Like gravity, all material things are held together by gravity. Gravity is a kind of scientific word. But all our relationships, all non-material things are based on ma. Ma, which is in Japanese, you have a word ma, which means something in between. So that love is in between. Yeah, between, space in between. You there and I here, but there's something in between that space. And that's a relationship that you cannot measure. It's not gravity, but it's love. So love holds all our non-material, non-physical relationship. Romantic love, erotic love, love of friendship, love of art, love of culture, love of music, love of gardening, love of food, love of people, love of everything. So fundamental principle like gravity is love of life. Fundamental principle of life is love. And so I'm explaining that all our work, so if you are working in a factory or in an office or in a shop, why do you work? You can work for two reasons. Either to earn money or because you love what you are doing. I would say to people, if you are reading my book, don't do anything just for money. Money is only a means to an end. Money is only a kind of facilitator. The real reason that you are doing something should be that you love doing it. If you want to make this film, which you showed Ai-san, you love making that film. This is good. This is why you made a beautiful film. And I'm speaking to you now because I love to communicate these ideas and I love to speak. So I'm speaking, not for money, not for name, not for fame, not for prestige, not for power, not for recognition, nothing. Just love. That's my purpose, no other purpose. So if we can live out of love and not out of greed, which most of people work for some greed. I want more money. And if I'm getting some more money somewhere else, I'll give up this job and I'll go somewhere else. So they seek job only for money. That's a kind of greed. So from greed to grace and from glamour to grace, love is gracious and money is glamorous. So we are shifting from glamorous to gracious. That's the kind of shift we have to make. And for me, that is the foundation for good life. And we all want to live good life. We have only short life, 70, 80, 90 years old, 100 years old, and then we have to go. So make this short life that you have been given as a gift from the universe, make this life beautiful and joyful. And it's possible to do it. You are capable of doing it. Just focus on it. And only thing you need is love. So I say in my book, love is the answer. What is your question?
Nice. Thank you, Satish. It's very exciting. I can't wait.
I hope that you or somebody you can find to translate radical love into Japanese.
Yes. Who volunteers?
Yes. Volunteers. Yes, anybody who want to volunteer, please contact Keibo-san.
Yeah, very, very exciting. Satish, can I ask one question?
Yes, last one.
You said about the job, right?
Yeah.
Either for money or for love, right?
Yeah.
But the many Japanese, I believe many Japanese would say, I work for my love for my family.
Yes. That is good. That is a good answer.
But
if you are working for love for your family, also you have to think, you have to think that you are member of your family. So as you love your family, you love yourself. But loving yourself.
The Satish problem is the job sucks. You know, like we don't like the job, but we work hard for a family.
Yeah. But
is it a kind of love?
Yeah. It is a love. This is a good thing. But I would like to complete that love by making your job also lovable. So that you are loving your family, you are loving yourself. Because if you do a job which is not lovable, which is a kind of drudgery and a life destroying and nature destroying and not good for you, but you do it just because of family, that's not good enough. You need to do something which you look after yourself. You have to love yourself and to love the family and love others. And in order to love yourself, you have to be happy in what you are doing. And therefore, if you know, we need to trust ourselves. That's why we started this conversation. You are capable of doing something which you really enjoy doing. Just think about it. Just think about it.
Yes.
And be courageous to change the lifestyle. Be courageous to change the direction of your life. Be courageous. I will learn new skills, something which I love, and I'll make it work like a small business. I'll make it work like a small enterprise. I will do something what I really love. If you have that determination, that courage, that heart in your hara, then you can do it. Every human being is capable of transforming and changing and being good and being creative and being imaginative, being artist, being craftsman, being good. We don't have to give up. Oh, I can't find a job, so I have to do it. Don't give up. Don't let your capacity and your imagination down. Keep it up. Okay. Any question from the audience?
So Julia, can we ask everyone?
Yes.
For questions?
Probably you ask some question, Sister Kathleen. If you want to ask him a question, I know you already write it down. Or...
I would hope that you could speak to the importance of meditation as a way to really realize that there's nothing to be afraid of. I think we're the ultimate is where we're afraid of dying, but if we know nothing to be afraid of, it comes.
Yes. Let me get a short meditation. We can do a short meditation, and you are right. Meditation, English word for meditation, is the same root, Latin root, with medicine. So meditation and medicine come from the same Latin word. So if you have need for physical health, you take medicine. If you need mental health or spiritual health, then you need meditation. Now, meditation is, in every person, you have to develop your own meditation. You can start a school of meditation, a Buddhist meditation or Hindu meditation or Zen meditation or some meditation, but eventually it has to come from your own heart. Like meditation is like a work of art. So if you are an artist, you learn to paint in some school, but then you become your own artist. In the same way, you become your own meditator. So I will give you a short meditation. I've written it down. And then you can use that as a kind of starting point. First of all, what you do, right hand represents the world. Left hand represents the self. Bring both hands together. And by bringing both hands together, you are uniting the world with the self. No separation, no division, no conflict between you and the world. We are united. Then, second part of meditation is that you bow in humility to the universe, to the earth, to each other, and see the divine, the sacred, the beauty, the harmony in all things. The water is beautiful, harmonious, and sacred. And water feeds and quenches the thirst of every human being, every living being, animals, plants. All living beings are nurtured and nourished by water. The thirst of every living being is quenched by water. And water does not discriminate against anyone. If you are a saint or a sinner, if you are a priest or a prisoner, you are good or bad, everybody can drink that water. So we can be like water. We can meditate on water. And we can say, I will be like water. And I will not discriminate against anyone. I will help and love and be compassionate to good people, bad people, sinners, saints, whoever you are, I'll be like water. That's the kind of meditation you can practice. You can do this on this air, you can do on earth and soil, you can do on fire, you can do on your breath. I'm breathing. All living beings are sustained by the same breath of life. So this way, you are bringing your attention to a kind of spiritual dimension of your life. We drink water to quench our thirst, but we don't think about the qualities of water. We are not mindful, we are not heartful about how water is nourishing all living beings. By being mindful of drinking water with that understanding and that awareness, then you can expand your consciousness. So meditation is to help you to enlarge your consciousness and make you more joyful and see good in everything. And when you see good in everything, you see the whole universe in yourself. And you see yourself in the whole universe. You see others in you and you in others. Because we are all made of earth, air, fire, water. We are all coming from the Big Bang. We all have a single one origin. So when you're meditation, you say, whole cosmos is my country. Whole planet Earth is my home. Nature is my nationality. And love is my religion. If you have that feeling in your heart, then you are interconnected, interdependent, interbeing. And you rise above good and bad, right and wrong, and you transcend, and you have a new consciousness of serenity and a peace and love in your heart. That is the way of meditation. You can develop your own meditation. You can learn from other teachers, of course, but you can develop your own meditation, but give some time to yourself every morning, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever time you can give to yourself, your spirit, your soul, your imagination, your heart, your hara. Because we are busy all day working, earning money, gardening, farming, talking to other people, eating, drinking, bathing our bodies. But we don't have any time for our inner soul, our spirit, our consciousness, our imagination, our hara, our heart. So meditation is to bring attention to your inner being. So outer transformation and inner transformation go together. So meditation brings the inner transformation with the outer transformation. That is the meaning of meditation. And no need to worry about it. Just try every day, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and see how you go.
Thank you. The next question, Tomoko, asking about breathing for 4H. Can you explain about this question? Tomoko Matsumoto.
Where is Tomoko?
Where is Tomoko-san? Tomoko, okay, if she doesn't answer, so I skip to the next question. Akane-san?
Yes, I just found that Tomoko writing message on the chat. She says, sorry, I can't speak now because my daughter's sleeping.
Sorry. Anyway, Akane-san, can you ask him a question, Satish?
Okay. Hi, Satish. Thank
Hello.
you so much for your talk. I wanted to ask you, I was curious of hearing some practices that you do every day to water the seed of trust, something that you do to water your seeds of trust.
Yes, yes.
In your day?
Yes, in my day, I start my day 6 a.m. in the morning with meditation and with some reading. If you can find some reading which inspires you, could be poetry, could be Zen stories, could be stories from Tao Te Ching, could be some other poetry from India, or some Rumi, Hafiz, any William Blake. There are many, many great teachers who have written some books with wisdom, poetry with wisdom. And so if you read something which is uplifting, inspiring, moving, nourishing, then that will water the seeds of love in your heart. Every day, you have to do it a regular practice, not occasionally, not when you have a time, but make time every day to read something. Then, of course, as I said, meditation is watering the seeds of trust and love. Every day, if you meditate on the qualities of air, the qualities of water, the qualities of earth, and the qualities of our soul, and how wonderful the universe is, and how great gift that we have of this life. If you focus on a positive aspect of our being, that will nourish your soul, that will nourish your spirit, and that will help you to. So everyday practice, whatever you decide, each and every one of you have to decide what practice will be best for me. I mean, I do meditation and I do reading, and then also I do some walking in nature. When I go out in nature, by the sea, along the river, in the forest, under a tree, the Buddha was sitting under a tree when he was enlightened. These days, we don't get enlightenment because we don't sit under a tree. So we have to sit under a tree or sit by the river and meditate on nature. We are nature. Nature is not just the trees and the mountains and the forest. We are nature. So if we embrace nature in ourselves, and we are water, we are air, we are fire, we are soil, we are earth, everything. So by connecting with nature, that's what I do. You water the seeds of trust and love. Those are the things you can do.
Okay, thank you. Some other question came, but can I ask you a question? Probably yes. This is a question people would be interested in. See, this is the pictures that I got, and there is a kind of argument here. These are the pictures from the Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. Yeah. Because our emperor and empresses, they didn't wear masks, but in reality, many of the Japanese people still wearing masks, like the picture in the middle, and the third picture. But some people, like some occasions, they don't wear mask, and this is the issue is inconsistent message from the adults. And some of my friends' parents are having hard time to explain to their kids, because kids said that, hey mom, people don't wear masks, but teacher asked us to wear masks, and emperors didn't wear masks. The conflicts. So how can we explain to kids about this, inconsistency happening in Japan, especially compared to the other countries that we kind of still stuck in this wearing mask or should not, or, that this is the argument.
Yes. The thing is that in different countries, like in Japan and China and Hong Kong, there are still kind of problems with COVID situation. Whereas in a country like England now, situation is better. And so if there is no prevalent and strong COVID conditions in countries where your emperor and empress was visiting for the funeral of the Queen Elizabeth, there was no need for them to wear the mask, because in this country, there's no great problem now. COVID has sort of subsided and we don't have much problem. And even if somebody gets the COVID, it's like a flu. Nobody dying out of this. So we have to explain to children that in some countries, the COVID is still very strong and prevalent, and therefore you have to wear the mask for a kind of sort of precaution. And in other countries, the problem is less or not existent, so they don't have to wear the mask. Or also within one country, some people have a fear, and some people also want to be more cautious, but other people think that, oh, we have to live with, some people even don't take vaccination. You have to allow that freedom to individuals to decide whether they want to take vaccination, whether they want to put a mask. I mean, if there was a place, a country where COVID was strong and everybody was wearing masks, then I would say wearing mask is a good thing and as a precaution and a caring. But if the situation is better and not so dangerous and not so lethal or so strong, then you can let go of mask. So it's like something you have to explain to children, and some people understand, some won't understand it, but you have to do it. But by the way, Elizabeth II, the Queen of England, died after 70 years of rule, and it was very nice to see so many people from around the world coming together, including the Emperor and the Empress of Japan coming together. And the Queen Elizabeth, I mean, you may like or not like imperialism and imperial power and monarchy, but she was a very good woman. I had one opportunity to meeting her in Buckingham Palace in the garden party, and she treated everybody same. That equanimity and magnanimity of her personality was very touching. Even if you don't like monarchy and so on, she was practicing almost a kind of a woman with equanimity and a magnanimity. And so it was very good to see so many people from around the world coming to her funeral and also watching the funeral ceremony, which was also done very artistically and very beautifully.
Yeah, I noticed that there was a king of Bhutan and the queen just behind the Japanese emperor and empress.
Yes. That's
just a note.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, they were.
That's beautiful. Right.
Were, yeah. Okay. Any other question?
Many questions. And how do you control anger?
How do you control anger? You control anger. Like, how do you control fire? You control fire with water. So when you have anger, you have to be mindful. You have to be aware that I am angry. A lot of time people are angry and they don't realize that they are angry. So then once you are aware that you are angry, then suddenly and spontaneously, you will remember that this anger is not going to hurt so much somebody else. It's going to hurt me. It's not good for me. Because if I'm angry, I lose my balance. I lose my wisdom. I lose my equanimity. I lose my grace. I lose my magnanimity. All the good qualities which I want to have and I aspire to have, I will lose them. And therefore, what is good of me being angry? It's not going to hurt somebody else. It's going to hurt me more than somebody else. So the way to control anger or to counter anger is by being mindful and being aware of the state of your mind and knowing that I am angry, and then asking yourself, what this anger is going to do to me? How is this anger going to help me or hinder me? By just saying that I want to be angry with you, it's not going to help you. So by being mindful, mindfulness is the antidote to anger, and being aware, you will be able to reduce it. And then every time you have to also learn from other teachers who have gone through, like Thich Nhat Hanh and the Dalai Lama and many other great Zen teachers in Japan. They have shown us the way that by being angry, you lose your balance. You lose your composure. And therefore, this is harmful to you. But of course, there is a kind of, Keibo talked about anger of activists. There's a kind of anger which can be righteous anger, but then that anger has to be transformed into energy, just energy. And that energy has to be used in a positive way. But when you are mindful and aware of your anger, then you are capable of transforming that anger energy into a positive action. So you can transform anger into positive action.
Well, I have to ask, I mean, as you brought in the metaphor of a fire.
Yeah.
I mean, fire makes us warm.
Yeah.
Without fire, we cannot cook anything.
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
way, fire made human a human.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a fundamental thing.
Yeah.
To sit around the fire. I mean, this is something really fundamentally good.
Yeah. So you have transformed fire into energy. By using for cooking, for warmth, you are transforming fire, which can burn the house, which can burn the trees, which can create a forest fire, into energy. So in the same way, I said that you can transform and transmute your anger into energy. And that energy is controlled fire, organized and aware, and you are in charge of your anger. You are master of your energy, and you know how to use it, when to use it, how much to use it, when to stop it, when to start it. When you have fire in your kitchen, you know when to start. You know how much energy you give. How much, if you give too much fire into your food, food will burn. If you do too little fire to your food, food will not cook. So you can control. So with your consciousness, with your heart and hara, with your understanding, with your wisdom, you can control your anger and turn it into energy. And then you can use that energy for transformation and change. So everything has a place. Nothing in this world created which has no place. But everything has a place, but you have to keep it in its place and not allow it to become misplaced. A lot of our anger is misplaced anger. And then it becomes forest fire, like wars and many other family breakdown or splitting in between couples and parents and children. So misplaced fire can burn, but using fire, transforming it into energy can be a good thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Two more questions. Kusa-san, would you like to ask him a question?
Thank you. So I have a question. So you were talking about fear and love and trust. We face many fears, but it's like an illusion. We have to change our mindset for the right thinking for the future. Act for the trust. Love is the answer, I think. So I would like to ask you, what was the biggest learning experience that led you to where you are today?
Yes. You know, in my life, I have faced danger to my life. During the walk around the world, I faced death by gun twice. Once in Paris and once in southern part of the United States, in Georgia. And both times there were gunmen trying to kill me. And then somebody came in between me and the gunmen and stopped. So those two experiences during my walk made me think that there are two parallel forces going on in the world. Somebody was trying to kill me. Another person was trying to protect me. So, and I had no gun. I had no money. I had no defense, but I trusted. And I went into a situation where maybe like in America, where brown people or black people are not allowed, I was going there with trust and I was protected. So by experiencing such danger and seeing that there are other human beings who did not know me, who I was, they had no connection with me, had no relationship with me, knew nothing about me, and yet they protected me. So that gave me a confidence and trust that there are always forces to protect you. That's the one thing. The other thing is that I rather be killed than live in the fear of being killed. Because if I live in the fear of being killed, I am being killed spiritually every day. But if I get killed once in a life, I'm only killed once, and once I have to die anyway. Whether I die when I was 40 or 50 or 60, it doesn't matter to me. But I don't want to live in fear and die every day in my spiritual heart. And so I prefer to live a living life, a good life in trust and love and confidence, and do my best as an activist to serve humanity, to serve the planet Earth, and joyful life, enjoy my life. If I live in fear, I cannot enjoy my life. I'm always security conscious. I always want locks and security guards and something. There's no end to it. And even when you have all the security guards, you cannot survive necessarily. John F. Kennedy, the president of the United States of America, how many security guards he had? And yet he was killed. And Martin Luther King, who had no security guards, also killed. So security and fear does not stop you being killed. So it's better to get killed if that happens, but not live in fear. So that's how I developed my strength.
Thank you for telling me. Thank you.
That's a very powerful answer. And then probably one last question from Ryumi.
Yeah. Hi.
That'll be the last question.
Yes.
Now we
so first of all,
okay, last question.
So first of all,
Please.
Satish, thank you for your
Yes.
impressive message. I think I could learn something about our love and beauty and how I should live from today. And thank you to Tsuji-san, Ai-san, and every staff who helped make this wonderful opportunity. I'm really glad to be here tonight. So this time I'm going to ask about what society as a whole should do to make more activists. I mean, I'm 17 years old and I've seen many of my friends and I are not activists, as Tsuji-san mentioned. I mean, like many of my friends and I are fearing of what if the society, our schools, universities, like companies and adults don't properly evaluate our efforts of protesting our rights or something like that, like war, peace, and something like that. Yeah, many people know what is the right thing to do, but I think they're fearing like losing their jobs or like cannot get enough paycheck. So I want to ask you, what do you think society as a whole should to make more activists? I mean, like politician or somebody like our society. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being in this meeting this evening. I'm delighted that some young people are there, like 17 years old. That's wonderful. Now, as I said in one of the previous answer, the politicians and the people in the establishment, they are not going to start change or transformation or revolution. Transformation and change and revolution always begins on the fringe, on the margins. Mahatma Gandhi did not come from the main politics. Martin Luther King did not come from the main politics, from the White House. People who started big change they started on the fringe. A great river does not start somewhere in the center. It starts somewhere in the mountains. A small spring of water comes out in a margin, and then other tributaries join in, and then they become great river and come through big cities like Tokyo or Kyoto or Osaka or Hiroshima or any other cities. But they don't start in the city. They start in the fringe. So real revolution, love revolution, ecological revolution will start from you and from me and from all of us who are not in the mainstream politics, who are not in the imperial palace, who are not in prime ministers and presidents. We are at the grassroots level. We have less constraint. We have less hurdles. We don't have to worry too much of losing power. These people who are in business and industry and government, they have a fear of losing power, losing prestige, losing money. We don't have that fear. And revolution can only come when there's no fear. And so don't worry about politicians. Don't worry about industrialists. Don't worry about big companies and corporations. Start with yourself. How am I going to shine, radiate, and light, create light so that others can shine and then join you? And when you join together, slowly, slowly, even communist revolution like Mao Zedong, he did not start from Beijing. He started from somewhere on the fringe. And many, many people gathered together with him. Then he came to Beijing. And once you become in the center, you lose that zeal, because once Mao Zedong became powerful, he was no longer revolutionary. He became establishment and he became ruler and he became violent. So it is better to remain on the fringe and join the big movement and then go back like a river, go into the ocean and disappear and go back into the clouds and bring the water back to the earth and never become an establishment or never become the great prime minister or president. Because once you become prime minister, president, you become vested interest. So don't worry about the politicians and the business leaders. Worry at the grassroots level yourself. Say, what can I do? How can I shine? How can I radiate? How can I make change and change and make transformation? That's all you and I have to think, not how I'm going to change Modi or Biden or Boris Johnson or the king or the queen or anybody else. Okay?
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Actually, I'm really very interested in our education. And I was just about to become a president or something like superstar. So today's your advices means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Yes, education is very important. And this is why I started Schumacher College. So, but as education at the moment, you will go in a university soon, maybe, and even in your school, you will know that when they look at you, they don't think that you have body. They don't think that you have hara. They don't think you have a hand. They don't think you have a heart. They only think you have a brain, head, only head, and only half brain, because neurologically, we have two hemispheres of the brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. The left hemisphere is the hemisphere of science and mathematics and the logic and the pragmatic work and organization and a bureaucracy and management. The right hemisphere of the brain is more intuition, imagination, spirituality, art, culture, music, poetry, all that. Our university's educational system only trains the half brain and no hara, no hands, no heart, no body. This is the problem with our education. So I would like you, when you are ready for your university, to choose a place where you can be educated with your head, with your heart, with your hara, and with your hands. Then it's a proper education and a whole brain. you can learn mathematics. We can also learn music. You can learn compassion. You can learn kindness. You can learn poetry. You can learn all these things to do. So if you can have a holistic education like that, then, I mean, Keibo-san, he was a professor in a university in Yokohama, and he took me to his class of students. And then he said that my students also farm, and they have a field of rice paddy, rice field. And Keibo-san took me to the field, and I saw the rice growing, and the students of the university were growing rice in a field and threshing the rice and cooking the rice and sharing the rice together. That is a good kind of education. So if you can persuade your professors in a university to make education holistic, where you are connected with nature, you are connected with the land, you are connected with spiritual values, then there will be a good education. Otherwise, you will just be trained in a half brain, and you will just become a bureaucrat and just earn a big salary, but not happy.
Mm. It's so nice to see you, Nyat.
Yeah, nice to see
you.
you.
You have to educate your teachers.
Exactly. But sadly, I already quit the school. Now I'm homeschooling and, you know, get prepared for university. So yeah, I will in university.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now we conclude.
Yes, right. One last information. I put the information about the GQ co-creation. It's going to appear on 25th, right?
Yeah, they actually came up this Sunday.
Okay, in Japanese. So if you want to repeat learning about this co-creation, remember, please attend this another event on 25th in Japanese, okay? Right. So,
and also, please, if you can, buy a copy of my book in Japanese, Elegant Simplicity.
Okay. So, yeah, the Keibo-san showed the right cover page, Elegant Simplicity. Elegant Simplicity, よろしくお願いします。Okay. So, to close the session, Maeno-sensei, would you like to say something to everyone?
Oh, yeah. Satish, Tsuji sensei, and Ai-chan, and Yuki, and everybody listening to this exciting session. Thank you very much. And I'm so impressed again. Whenever Satish comes to talk about something to me, I feel the courage to change the world. Today, I found out that I am an activist. I thought I am a researcher, but no, I'm a researcher and activist. Everybody is an activist. Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
So everybody, let's make a better world together. Yeah, if we step by step doing something, then we can make a better world. That's Satish, Tsuji sensei, and Ai-chan has been talking. Thank you very much for coming. We are so impressed, and we will make a better world.
So please unmute and then show your face if you can. And for Satish.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Arigato gozaimasu. Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato, Satish.
Arigato. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for the host too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yuki-san, arigato. Julia-san, Ai-san, arigato.
Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu.
Maeno-sanもどうも。
Tsuji sensei, ありがとうございます。
じゃあ皆さんおやすみなさい。
おやすみなさい。愛ちゃんありがとう。辻先生もありがとう。ジュリア、ゆきさんありがとう。そして見てくださった皆さんありがとうございます。いやー、今回もインプレッシブでしたね。
見つかった。
いやー、よかった。
よかったです。
はい。
Thank you, Yuki, for inviting me.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, everybody. おやすみなさい。
おやすみなさい。 愛ちゃん 's video was very good. First, 愛ちゃんのビデオがあったから、こうね、そのサティッシュの考えと同じじゃないですか。それがビデオで感じられてから、サティッシュの熱い話になったってのは、すごいぴったりでしたね。
ああ、よかったです。なんかね、うまく英語では伝えれなかったけど。いや